It is time for Storm Watch at the Weather Channel. There's a lot to talk about in the tropics. Two systems of great interest, other areas too of concern. Our most imminent concern is Hurricane Bret, now a Category 2 hurricane. To cover that story in great detail, we now go to our expert desk and Dr. Steve Lyons. Steve?
Well, thanks, Paul. We've got the latest advisory information from the Hurricane Center, and here it is right here as of 5 p.m. This is 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 24.1 north, 95.1 west. That's the new coordinates. That's about 195 miles southeast of Brownsville. Winds have come up to 105 miles per hour. That is now a Category 2 hurricane. Continues to move to the north-northwest at 8 miles per hour, and the pressure's come down to 976 millibars. So the system continues to intensify very slowly. Now, the hurricane warnings are still up from Baffin Bay to La Pesca, Mexico, but we now have a tropical storm warning and a hurricane watch from north of Baffin Bay to Port Aransas, Texas. Now, what that means is that hurricane winds are possible within the next 36 hours, and tropical storm force winds are likely within 24 hours up in this area right here. So we're extending those watches and warnings up the Texas coast as the system comes closer to shore. Now, as we look at the latest satellite imagery here, here's Brownsville, Texas, right in through here. You can see the system still moving north, and the circulation continues to show a well-defined eye, a little less well-defined, but nevertheless, the overall banding features and structure of the hurricane indicate that it is definitely intensifying, and we continue to expect that to intensify to a major hurricane over the next 24 to 36 hours before it makes landfall. It's forecast to come up here to the northwest and then take a little more westward track as an upper ridge builds to the north of it. But keep in mind, it's already fairly close to Brownsville here, so those of you in central Texas, remember you're under a hurricane watch now, so you should be prepared. Make sure you've got all of your information ready to go, all your hurricane preparedness information ready, just in case it tends to take a turn, or it stays on a more northerly track rather than a westerly track. Right now we're still anticipating that westward turn more toward the Brownsville area or North Mexico coast, but we'll have to see whether or not that actually happens over the next 36 hours. Now, as we look at the radar imagery from Brownsville, we can see still a lot of shower bands coming through the area as the northwest edge of the hurricane is already affecting the coast of the United States there with heavy rain. We've had over an inch of rain in Brownsville already, and keep in mind the expected impact in the Brownsville area would be medium impact from wind. See, the surge impact is typically low for any given hurricane, but as we go north toward the North Florida, Texas coast, we have medium impact, so the surge would be more important farther north in the Texas coast if the system is continuing to move more toward the north. We'll have to wait and see what happens on that. Of course, the overall structure of the hurricane, very large area of cold cloud tops, not moving all that fast, conducive to very heavy rainfall on the order of 8 to 12 inches, maybe even higher than that if the system slows down. So potential for flash flooding is definitely a potential overall. Now, as we look across the remainder of the Gulf of Mexico, not much going on there. The Caribbean, relatively quiet other than a batch of showers there right now that are not organizing. But the other story is our tropical storm Cindy, way out in the eastern Atlantic. Right now it's up to 70 miles per hour. It was 65, so it's come up a little bit, still moving west at 12, pressure 990. So this is forecast to become a hurricane and take a west-northwest track through time. It's still about 4 or 5 days away from the Windward Islands, so we have a lot of time to go. Well, that's it for the tropics this hour. Let's get back to the studio.
All right, thanks a lot, Steve. Showers